Hi everyone, my name is Michael and welcome to DIY Money. Today I'd like to make a midweek update, a quick one. I always try to prepare for my videos. I always try to have some sort of like a sheet of paper to make sure I share all the information. I know today is a little bit different. I've been a little bit busy lately, and it was either I do it this way or I don't do anything at all, which is of course not a good idea. I wanted to share this information with you. So today I will try to improvise. Well, actually every day I try to improvise, but today I'll be improvising a little bit more. But I hope the information you're going to get is going to be valuable for you. Let's talk a little bit about silver, because we are in a very special place when it comes to silver right now. It dropped from its peak, which was around $120 some months ago, and due to the war in Iran, it sits currently at the very low 70s. This thing changes from hour to hour, so it's in between 69 and 75 as of today, depending on when you look at it. And the same with gold. It dropped from its peak of 5,300 to around $4,400. So it's a huge dip for both gold and silver. Maybe let's try to discuss silver today, like a brief assessment of the current situation. So we know that the recent drops in gold and silver are definitely caused by the war, and it has nothing to do with gold being or gold and silver being metals you cannot trust. It's more of a necessity of investors. We have huge governments, we have entire countries from the Middle East region especially, and due to their lack of export possibilities, because the Hormuz Strait is being blocked, they cannot make money. So they need to fund the functioning of their countries. So they're selling assets, and one of them is going to be gold, one of them is going to be silver. Also, the current situation with petrol is making things quite hard and unpredictable. That's why many large players, I'm not talking about DIYers like you and me, but really large players, I'm talking banks and corporations, are trying to shift money from one asset to the other. That's why we have so much volatility on the market. And silver used to be quite a boring precious metal to invest in, and quite a cheap one. As you look at the charts from decades ago, it used to go like this without any significant changes. Of course, there were a few spikes along the way, like when the Hunt brothers wanted to make a squeeze on silver. And recently, we've had quite an uphill travel. And this is due to a few reasons. Some of them are really legitimate reasons, and some of them, I wouldn't call them fake. They're probably less important than we think. There are quite a few aspects of silver you need to know. First of all, it's an essential metal for industry, for solar panels especially, for computers, probably for some chips, including AI chips, for EVs, maybe for some advanced batteries or any other components. And as you know, we didn't have EVs and AI chips and solar panels 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. So that's why the importance of silver is much, much bigger right now when it comes to the industry. It's not just a collectible, it's just not like a fancy thing like collecting stamps or useless copper coins. It really is being used by different industries. Of course, on YouTube, you're going to have lots of videos of typical stackers who are going to tell you that, yeah, this is like a once in a lifetime chance. Silver is going to be like worth millions. It's going to go up to $300, $400 an ounce. Okay, I wish everybody all the best, but I don't think we should be so excited. First of all, because not all silver is used as an industrial metal. It's a growing piece, but it's not like 100%. There's still the possibility that if silver gets too expensive, many companies are going to start looking for an alternative. There is no alternative, but who knows? They might find a different technological process, for example, for solar panels, which will not require the use of silver, just to not spend so much money. Yeah, when there is necessity, people try to find different ways to solve their current problems. So I don't think that silver might go super high because of the industrial needs. Another thing is that COMEX, which is the main market which sets the prices of silver, there is some data that we're having fewer and fewer ounces of silver, and that they're simply just losing all their reserves because more and more customers want silver delivery instead of cash. This is true in a sense, and there is much less silver than in previous years, but COMEX is not going to collapse. COMEX is not going to default simply because it's a private company. It's not a government institution, so they can change the rules anytime, which they've done many, many times in the past. So COMEX is more or less like a casino. The house always wins anyway. So, for example, if too many customers want physical silver delivery, they will simply change their terms, and they will say, no, I'm sorry, we don't offer silver delivery anymore. You can just get your cash. We don't sell silver bars this week. If the silver price goes too high or too low for their taste, they can easily just cancel trading. It happened a few times over the last maybe weeks or months, when there was a lot of movement on silver, and suddenly they had some sort of like a failure of their servers. One time their servers got overheated or something. So we know it's bogus, because probably they don't have their own servers anyway. They're probably using Amazon servers or some other huge company or Google servers. It's impossible for those problems to appear right when people want to buy a lot of silver. We know they just flip the switch for a few hours to calm down the buyers and the sellers. So that's why I'm saying that the house always wins. That's why I think that we should not get super optimistic about, we should get optimistic about silver, but we shouldn't get overly excited, simply because we cannot control the prices of metal as DIYers. We are not huge financial institutions. I hope we were, and I hope you were, of course, but probably you don't have billions. I'm not talking about millions. Probably you don't have billions of dollars to invest in silver, and that would probably change the price if you have that amount of money. So we can only try to look what's going on. We can only try to follow the money. That's the most important thing. And that way we'll be able to invest in silver wisely. Of course, do not invest all your savings, do not invest all your whatever family's estate in silver. You should diversify your investments. This is rule number one, and I hope you already know it. But you should have a lot of exposure to silver anyway. Probably some people will think that I'm contradicting myself. Yeah, first I'm trying to scare you when it comes to silver, then I'm trying to tell you that you should invest. Well, I'm not contradicting myself. Oh no. The thing is that you should be more or less, you should think more or less in a realistic way. Yeah, there are no miracles. If silver becomes too expensive, somebody's going to step in and just switch off the light. But silver is actually pretty low right now for my taste. Of course, it's 1 year ago or so, it was like $30-something an ounce. But if we take into account what's been going on in the silver and gold market over the last 6 or 8 months, this price right now can be considered more or less low. I wouldn't say it's the floor. Probably under $50 per ounce, maybe 40 would be the floor, like the bottom of everything. But this price is pretty much low, so I would try to invest a little bit in silver. Of course, disclaimer, I'm just a random YouTube guy. I'm not an investor, and whatever I say is just my crazy imagination. So this is not a financial advice, but this is what I would do, and this is what I'm going to do. It's a good idea to buy quite a few ounces and just wait for silver to go up, which it will. Of course, we cannot predict when. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you next time.